the baby's fault?
It's true! He can talk!
The first movie was released back in 2017, but this movie is timeless. We think it is a really good watch that will crack you up no matter how often you see it. Anyways, we went back to this movie and discovered that the filmmakers actually put in a lot of stuff that's not meant for kids. Don't believe us? Here are 4 top picks for the most inappropriate and non-relevant scenes for kids in The Boss Baby.
Seriously, I'm the only one who thinks there's something weird about this guy?
The Butt Pacifier scene. Are you even surprised? This scene had to make it to the top of our list. You see, somewhere in the introductory scene, they present us with something of a baby-making factory. We can see that these are the first moments of life for the Boss Babies, but it is still not clear how this actually happens. As confusing as that was not the only thing wrong about this scene. We see Boss Baby Ted doing his own thing, you know, just chilling upside down on the conveyor belt, and in the process, he almost gets his pacifier plugged into his little butt. Thankfully, he managed to turn into the right position before that tragedy happened.
Oh, someone can't go down the stairs? Ha!
Blackbird by the Beatles. This one isn't really about a scene, but more about a song that repeats in several scenes across the movie. The kids might think that the song Tim's parents sing to him is an original song created for the movie, but as adults we know this is not the case. That's why this scene was not made to appeal to the kids, because they wouldn't recognize those familiar lyrics. Just like the younger viewers, Tim is also convinced that his parents wrote that song for him. You can see it in the way he tells Ted to stop singing his song in a later scene. Needless to say, Boss Baby Ted and most adults know better. The song is actually derived from the song Blackbird by the Beatles. While it was hilarious to watch Ted ask him if his parents were the famous McCartney and Lennon, the kids are oblivious to what is actually going on.
You can talk!
Goo goo gaga.
No, you can really talk. I heard you.
The suck it scene. There are some very problematic words used in this scene that make it very inappropriate for kids. We are talking about the scene where Boss Baby Ted has blown his cover and has no other option than to let Tim in on the truth about babycore. In the process of taking Tim to babycore so he can see things for himself, we are hit with a very unexpected method for getting there. Apparently, Tim and Ted have to suck on the pacifier. This is obviously not appropriate, but what ticks the bar is the manner in which they do so. Then we are hit with Ted doing the "I want you to suck it. Suck it! I don't want to suck it. I need you to suck it." We were so not prepared for this scene, and it was just like, can we wrap this one up?
Don't embarrass yourself, Templeton. I can still see you.
So this is where babies come from?
Where babies come from scene. Every once in a while, this movie drops the question of where babies really come from. Apparently, Tim knows the actual answer to this timeless question, and this answer is obviously a reference to a very adult activity that we don't think the kids should even have an idea about. You see, while the Templeton brothers are walking through babycore, Tim is really impressed to see all the cool stuff at the company. Somewhere in this scene, he lets the viewers in on how very well informed the actual process of creating a child between a man and a woman is, as he whispers it in Ted's ear. Something tells us he knows what he's talking about, because the two of them find whatever he has said very shocking and even disgusting. We wonder why his parents would let him in on the process.
Aren't you gonna do any work?
I'm very busy delegating. He drains it.
The Memo scene. In the scene where Ted tries to discover the conspiracy surrounding the introduction of the new puppy, he reveals that his big plan revolves around sending the perfect memo. This sounds really boring to Tim, and it's not something that the kids would understand as well. But as adults, we understand how this fits nicely, especially as it reflects Ted's love for corporate culture. This scene also pays off at the end when Tim embraces the so-called power of the memo and sends one to Ted, inviting him to become his brother.
Oh, you want this?
One thing was clear. He was the boss.
The Hansel and Gretel scene. At some point in the movie, Tim and Ted are kind of doing the fake it till you make it thing as regards to their relationship. They do all kinds of things just to look like loving brothers to their parents. In one of those scenes, Tim is reading the Hansel and Gretel story to Ted, and the manner in which he does it is kind of inappropriate for a kid's movie. Yes, adults can appreciate that he wasn't telling the watered-down version, but rather telling the story in its horrible and original form. But still, the fact that hardcore phrases like the godless witch were miserably burnt to death kind of raises an eyebrow. It opens up the conversation of cannibalism, child abduction, and burning people alive. Again, this shouldn't have a place in a kid's movie.
We all laughed at the Sharpay. And now it's #1 in China.
Oh no! That's terrible! Horrible!
Yes.
The scenes with pop culture references. There were so many film and pop culture references included in this movie, and while it was fun to catch them, we couldn't help but wonder why they made it to a kids' movie in the first place. The kids obviously wouldn't understand all the witty throwbacks to retro movies and TV shows. For example, there was the Indiana Jones reference when Ted and Tim hit the file warehouse at the puppy company to hijack a file that could lead them to more info about the puppy conspiracy. There, they find a suspicious folder with an allegedly important file placed in the trap that reminds us of the idol statue in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just like in that movie, the boys had to replace the object with something of its exact weight to prevent the trap from going off. And just like Indiana, they failed to do so. Another reference is when Ted refers to the people chasing them as Scary Poppins, which is obviously a reference to the classic movie Mary Poppins from 1964. Well, some kids might be familiar with the character because of the sequel that was released in 2018. We get another reference when the boys jump over a moving train using a lump of dirt as a ramp. In his imagination, Tim pictures himself doing the stunt of the famous daredevil Evel Knievel. Then there was the Elvis Presley reference by the Elvis impersonators at the airport. It is all very well crafted and even worth a couple of laughs, but do kids these days even know who Elvis is? These scenes are more adult-oriented than anything, so we are sure that only the parents and grandparents would truly appreciate these scenes.
If I don't find out what that new puppy is and fast, not only will I not get that promotion, I could get fired!
The party glass scene. First of all, a kid and his baby brother getting a ride on a limo full of women en route to what they call a lady party in Vegas is not something we were expecting to see in a kids movie, but it gets even more inappropriate. You see, even after putting them in that position, the filmmakers still thought it was a good idea to have these ladies give the kids a glass of something as a parting gift. While Ted is emphasizing how much ladies love babies and wiping all those kisses from his face, Tim takes a sip from the party glass. Judging by how he recoiled after tasting the drink, we all know it certainly wasn't iced tea.
Not again! Come on, I need you!
I'm back! I'm back!
The baby core party scene. The movie is wrapping up by this point, so it was kind of expected that one more inappropriate scene was coming up. And yeah, we weren't disappointed at all. In the scene where everyone at Baby Core is celebrating Ted's success and promotion, there is a way the babies go about it, and it is all a little sus if we are being honest. The babies are seen sharing cream pies and making their baby formula shoot up to the sky in a group of frenzy. It almost looks ritualistic how they all gathered in a circle around Ted to spray him with fresh pressurized milk from their formula bottles. We can all agree on how suggestive this is, right? Thankfully, these scenes are put in there so parents can have some fun too, rather than just sitting through the movie with their kids because they have to.
Not again! Come on, I need you!
I'm back! I'm back!
Let us know what you think, and share your thoughts with us in the comments. Check out the rest of our channel for more content like this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos like this.
Hushy baby, Tootsie. It goes by many names, but through its power, you will know the truth.